guys how to make this tie to the back dress, and for that I'm going to be using about 3.5 yards of fabric and then also my lining. So let's get into the video. So guys, as you can see, I'm using a Kara fabric for this, and if you want, what you can do is to split your fabric. Let's say you're using 3 yards for the bottom of the dress, so you want your flat to be about 3 yards. So what you're going to do is to use 2 in front and then 2 yards in front and then 1 yard for the girder at the back, but I feel like that might be too bold. What I was trying to explain is, so if your waist is 30 inches, right? So 30 inches, you're going to need that's round your waist circumference is 30 inches. So what I'm saying is you will need two times of your waist for the front girder and then 1 of your waist measurement for the back girder. So that means 3 times is what you're going to need. That means 30 into 3, that's going to be 90. So you're going to use 60 for the front and then you're going to use 30 for the back girder. So you understand? I've measured mine. So you see, I folded it into 3, 1, 2, and then the third portion. So I'm just going to cut out 1 portion of this, and then the folded part is going to be my front girder. So I'm going to do that now. So guys, I'm going to be using the full length, and you know it's a Kara fabric that I'm using, right? So all we talked about now is the width, but I'm just letting you guys know I'm using the whole length of the Kara fabric. As you can see, this is the end here, and then this is the other end here. So this is going to be the length of my dress here. So in case you're worried about what will be the length, if you want to check what you will use as your own length, just check from your shoulder to your waist, and then check from your shoulder to the floor or wherever you, or your ankle, wherever you want the length to be, and then you subtract your shoulder to waist from that from the full length of the dress. That's how you're going to get the bottom of the dress. So now we'll move over to cutting the top bodice of this dress. So the first thing I'm going to do now is, so guys, what we're going to do now is measure around your bust, right? So for me, if I measure round, my bust measurement is going to be 42 inches, right? So, and that, because this dress is not going to have any back, so you're going to need just your front, right? So for that, we are going to divide the round bust measurement that you've measured. For me, that's 42, right? So I'm going to divide this 42 into, I'm going to get half of this 42, and that's going to be 21 for me, right? So this 21, I'm going to add plus 6 inches to it. This 6 inches is going to be my constant, and this constant is just basically like for all the extra seam allowances you're going to need for this. That's why I'm adding this 6 inches. So altogether, I'm going to need 27. So you understand? Let's say your bust measurement is 40. Half of 40 is going to be 20, right? So you're going to add 6 inches to it, and then you're going to have 26 inches. So that's what you're going to be working with. And now that 26 inches, what you're going to do now is to measure it out, right? So for me, it's 27. I'm going to measure mine. So from this end of my fabric to where is 27. So this is where my 27 falls in. I'm going to mark it out, and then I'm going to cut it. So this is what I'm going to be needing for my front panel, for the width of my front panel. So guys, I've cut out my 27 inches of width. So I'm going to fold it into 2 now, right? So we've started shaping it now. Fold it into 2. The next step is to check what do we want for the shoulder to waist. Where is the shoulder to waist? So for me, that's 17. My shoulder to my waist, half length is 17 inches, right? Then the next thing you're going to check is where you want your top to start. How much of cleavage you want to show, and like where you want the cut to start. So for me, I want mine to start at 8 inches, right? And then my shoulder to waist is 17. So so mine is going to start at 8 inches. So from my shoulder to 8 inches is where my top is going to start. So what I'm going to do now, and my shoulder to waist is 17. That's, let's say this is my shoulder to this point is 17. But from my shoulder, I want my top to start at 8. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to add half an inch at the end here, right? So this is where my waist is going to stop here, at this point here, right? It's at 17. But I'm adding half an inch at the bottom here, right? As you can see. So this is where my shoulder is going to start. Like where the top part of this is going to start. That's 8, right? I'm adding half an inch to top of the 8. So you see, so I'm basically working with this pattern. This is what I'm working with right here. This center part is what I'm going to be working with. So that's about 10 inches. So I'm going to cut out 10 inches here. So if you want to calculate it, see what you're going to do. If this is going to confuse you, just go with your shoulder to waist, right? Your shoulder to waist. So mine is 17, and I'm going to add extra 1 inch to it for seam allowances. That's going to be 18, and my top is starting at 8. So that's going to leave me with this point here. And if you count it down, this is going to be the same 10 inches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So that's 10 inches still. So you see, so basically just cut out your 10 inches. So I'm going to mark my 10 inches now and cut it out. So guys, this is what we are working with here. This mark that I made here is just to show you guys why I added extra 1 inch to it. Is because I need half an inch to join the top part to the lining, right? And then half an inch to join the bottom part to my to the main body of the dress. So that's why I added extra 1 inch to it. So let me show you guys what I'm saying here. So let's say this is your shoulder, right? This is the shoulder of your dress. This is the neck. This is like your normal bodice, right? This is the normal bodice you're working with. This is your shoulder. You know, this is what normal bodice looks like, right? So you want your top to start at 8 inches. You see what I'm saying? You want this top part to be cut off, right? And you want to start at 8. And my shoulder to waist is 17. I added extra 1 inch to it. So that's why I have 18 here, you see? So this part is not going to be visible because it's just going to be, I'm going to go back and put in a strap. So which means the main body of my top is starting at 8. And then my shoulder to waist is 17, but you need 1 inch seam allowance for half an inch for folding this top and half an inch for attaching the bottom of the girder. So that's why we have 10 inches, which is what we have here. That's why I added this 1 inch here, and that's why we have this 10 inches complete here. So what I'm going to do now is, the next thing you're going to do now, we're going to start shaping this. So you're going to check your waist measurement, right? So round your waist, the same thing we did. Round my waist measurement is 33. 33 plus this, half of 33. So the same thing we did for the bust. 33 is my waist measurement. Then half of 33 plus 6 inches constant. The same thing we did before. So that's going to give me about... So guys, you see, the 33 that we have divided by 2. Divided by, that's half of the 33. If you divide it into half, because remember, we're only working with the front bodice, the back is going to be open. So that's why we keep dividing all the round measurement into half. So half of this 33, which is round of my waist, is going to be 16.5, right? And then again, I'm going to add back my constant, which is this 6 inches for all my extra seam allowances. So if I add it to this, it's going to give me, if I add this 6 inches to it, this is going to give me 22.5. So what I'm going to do now is, because the fabric is now folded into 2, right? What we are going to do is this 22.5, we'll divide it into 2, right? You divide it again into 2, and then that's what you're going to use to cut out your waist. So because what you're supposed to do is just to trim out the 22.2 inside of this fabric, but how you're going to do it is just to fold your fabric into 2, right? So now that my fabric is into 2, this part is going to be my waist, this part is going to be the bust part. So on this waistline, which is the bottom part of this, on this waistline now, what you're going to do is, we need just 22.2 inches to be on it. That's round, we want 22.5, sorry, to be at the bottom of this dress. So what we're going to do is just mark it here. So we're going to, you see, I folded my tape into 2, which is what because my fabric is already folded into 2. So I folded my tape into 2 and then marked that 22.5. You see, I've marked it here. So what you're going to do is now, from this line, you're going to connect it to this bust part here. You're going to connect it all the way up, right? So now that I've connected it, the next thing I'm going to do, just connect it to this angle here. You're going to just blend it in. So after doing that, you're going to cut it off. So you're going to cut this off now. And shaping it this way, you're going to fold the fabric into this way, and then what you're going to do is just your nipple to nipple measurement, right? What I said, mine is about mine is 8 inches, right? Divided by 2. that's 4 plus extra 1 inch for your seam allowance. So whatever you have, you divide it by 2 and then add 1 inch to it. So I have 5 to work with. So you're going to make sure that 5 fits in all the way down here on this folded part, right? And then after checking it, what you're going to do next, if you are sure that your measurement fits in here, whatever you got, so for me it's 5 and I'm sure that my 5 fits in here. So what I'm going to do is place your tape back again. So remember, this is my shoulder. This is the illustration for my shoulder. So I'm going to start back again. So from my shoulder to my breast point is going to be so remember, your top is starting at 8, right? Your top is starting at 8. So but you know you need that half an inch at this top part. So you're going to see, so this is where my 8 starts for me, right? So from my shoulder to the first measurement you're going to need is your shoulder to your breast point. So for me that's 12. I'm going to mark it 12 here. The next measurement you're going to need is your shoulder to your under bust, like below your bust. It's normally about 2 inches or so. So I've marked it here. So for me it's 14. The next thing you're going to need is your shoulder to your waist. So for me that's 17. I've marked it here. So you see, I said, let me go over it again. Shoulder to your breast point, shoulder to your nipple, which is your breast point, shoulder to your under bust, and then the next one is shoulder to your waist. So that's why I have 12, 14, and then 17. So what you're going to do is come to your waistline, subtract half an inch, right? Come up to your the center of this one here, which is your shoulder to under bust, subtract 0.75. Here is half an inch. Here is 0.75, which is more. And then here you're not going to subtract anything. On this part here, you're going to come in by 1 inch, right? Come in by 1 inch here. So what you're going to do is to now curve it this way, curve it down this way, go down this way, join this line, come up and meet this line here, and then go down up to your waistline. So that's, we'll finish marking this one. We're done here. So what you're going to do now is, this is the V part of your this is where your neckline is going to be, the depth of your V. So it depends on you. If you want yours to be still like maybe 2 inches in, or maybe you come in by 1 inch, what you're going to do is just come in, come down. For me, I'm going to make mine about 1.5 is okay for me. I don't want it too deep. So I've marked 1.5 here. So what you're going to do is down, connect that 1.5. This, you see here, you're coming down by the depth inside. But here, the 1 inch you came in here, you're going in this way. But here, you're coming in down. So you're going to just connect these two lines together, you see? So now I'm going to show you how you're going to cut it out, you see? From here, just go straight, cut out, go to your breast point, go back again, trim this off. This is done. And then from here, you're going to cut out your neck, your V. If you want your V even deeper, you can just go down deeper, you see? So this is what it looks like right now. We'll go to dispose of this, and then you see what we have here. For this armhole part, if you want a little curve on your armhole too, you can also go in by, come down on by 1.5 or so, or maybe 1 inch here, and then just curve it a little bit, right? So you remember this is going to be under your armpit, right? So if you want, you can come down the same way here and then just curve it a little bit to meet up here. So that's basically it for the front panel. We are going to just trace out this on a lining. So you see, I'm going to show you guys. Let me separate it now. You see what we have here? So this is our center pattern. This is one side of our pattern. This is the other side of our pattern. So we are done cutting it now. We are going to go ahead and trace it out on a lining now. So guys, what I did now is, this is going to be the only piece at the back. So this here, what I did is just take my side, because remember these two are going to be by the side, right? I just took my side panel and measured out the same length is what I measured out here. So the same length is what I measured here. That's what I have for, this is going to be my back panel. And then after measuring that way, I measured about 5 inches here. That's including all my seam allowances. It depends on you if you want just a little bit closer at the back. But 5 inches is okay for me, because I know 1 inch is going to go in as seam allowance. Then I'm left with 4 inches. So what you're going to do, as you can see, I have 2 of these here. I have 2 here. So what you're going to do is just, the way it is now, you're going to just start to mark your X. So you're going to mark 1 here, pointing to the center. So you leave about 1 inch at the end here, because this is going to be part of your seam allowance here. And then you're going to just mark how you want yours to point. So if you look at the picture, you see there are 3 of them pointing to the center. So you see, so you're going to mark yours that way. I've marked mine 3. And then another thing you're going to do is also take that side pattern that you have, use it to shape out your waist, right? Because remember, the waist for the front goes this angle. So you're going to place this here, place it on the front panel. Just keep it straight and place this on top. Make sure that the 2 angles at the top are meeting together so that you can chip off a little bit from the waist. Remember when we did it for the front, so you're going to go back in and do it for the back also, so that you can have that same angle at the back there. So you see, I've done mine. So guys, as you can see, I left about 1 inch at the edge here. All my triangles didn't get to the point, and as you can see, I left a blunt end here because I'm still going to make like a strap. I'm going to make a strap that I'm going to pass through this. So there's still going to be a little strap coming out of this end. So I don't need to make it an angle. So what you're going to do now is to go ahead. As you can see, I have 2 of these for each side of the back. So sorry, it's going to face this way for each side of the back. So what we're going to do now is to get a lining and trim out the lining the same size as this, and also for the front too. So guys, what I did here, first you join your 3 linings, you see, the 2 sides and 1 center. Join your pattern, the 2 sides and 1 center. You see, this is for the front of the top. So what you're going to do is then come and join the shoulder, the top part together, right? You see, so after joining it, now I'm going to flip it and iron it. So you see, this is what we have now. Guys, as you can see, I've gone ahead and ironed this, and then I put in my strap. Just make a long strap that you think will be enough for you, and then you put it at the center on top here. So you see how I did mine. So this is where the bust is, this is mine. It depends on you where you want to put yours. So you see, so this is the side. You see my seam allowance here. I've gone ahead and put in 1 side of the back. So this is going to be at the back here. You see why I said add 1 inch for the back? That's why mine was 5 inches. But if you want yours to be extended more, then you can use about 7 inches or whatever you want. So you see, this is mine here on this side. So I'm going to show you guys how I did this. So basically, you see one side here, this is my lining. So you're going to place it the right side facing each other. You see my lining here. So what you're going to do is just take one of these here. So you're going to start making a stitch. You go ahead, sew all the way here, close it up, come in here, go up again, put in another one. So you're going to be putting it from the outside. So you see, you're going to put it in here, close it up again, and then put the 3rd one. So you see I have 6, 3 on one side, 3 on the other side. So you're going to make about 4 inches of length for each of them, and then you're going to use it for this part here. So guys, I've gone ahead and cut off the excess. As you can see, I've cut off the excess from the straps. So what I'm going to do now is to flip it inside out. So now it's just to iron it and attach it to the other side of this back here, and then I'm going to attach the bottom of the dress. So guys, you see how I joined the bottom here? I've gone to add the girder to the front part. You see, the whole girder is just on the front part, like for the front. So what I did is the last part for the back, just cut a piece of cloth, maybe 4 inches of width, and make a band for the back. So you see, I've made a band for where I'm going to pass my elastic, because I'm going to be using this elastic here, this one. So I'm going to use this here to pass through the back part here. So guys, you see, I've gone ahead and put the elastic at the back. So I know you might be thinking, if you put the band, the back might be longer than the front. It doesn't matter. That's why you only attach the, you see, you're going to just join it all the way to the side, like join the back to the front on the 2 sides. You see my stitches here? You see the 2 of them. So you see, I've joined it, but getting up to this point now, what I'm going to do is with this elastic here, I'm going to move it in, put it here, and then I'm going to cover it up with the back, this back piece that I have here. You see, put it in here, and then I'm going to stitch it and hold even my elastic and the back panel together inside. So you see, the first layer is the front panel, put in my elastic and the band, and then cover it up with this one. So three layers is what I'm going to sew on, and then you have something like this on one side. You're going to also do it on the other side. Adjust your elastic, move it up to the end, put it in, and then use the back panel to cover it up and sew it close. So when you're done, you take your straps and strap it up, and that's basically it. So you see how I sewed the side, you see, sew up the side to the end here, sew up the side to the end here. So that's what you're going to do. So thank you guys so much for watching. Please like, share and subscribe. Bye.